Welcome back to the Super Show. This is the heavyweight hour here we have coming up. We have Dennis Manning of Ridgeview, and now we have Paul Gola of Bakersfield High next, and Darren Carr later, Chad Brown. Who am I missing?
Eric
Smith of Golden Valley, too. So we're into the SYL here. I think this is only our second SYL coach. We had David Finucci of East a few minutes ago. But Dennis Manning, first of all, one more congratulations on the 2014 season, a section championship.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
And that's, it always is a lot of fun. And then you go to the regional bowl game, drop that game to Redlands East Valley. But they went on to win a state title. And you had a play to go ahead on them in the fourth quarter. You were that close to a state title last year.
Yeah, it's hard to think about when you think of it as how close we were. But the experience was great. I mean, it was a great experience to go down there and, just the whole experience of our kids playing at a high level and playing well. It was a lot of fun.
Now you lose quite a few guys on that team, namely Sheldon Crony, who is a pretty darn good back in this town for 4 years.
Yeah.
And at first at Garces and then at Ridgeview. Yeah, exactly. He's in Ames, Iowa, along with Kamari Cottonmoya.
Yeah.
And you lose 4 linemen off your offensive line, which I know has been sort of a thing Trevor's talked about.
And our tight end.
And your tight end. So that's a lot of blocking you got to replace, and that'll keep a coach up at night.
Yeah, and that's basically what it's doing right now.
Okay. You look well rested though. You look all right.
I mean, I'm not going to stress about it.
Hey man, you kept the weight off. Congratulations on that. I know you had that. I know you had that little bet going on before the Army Bowl, and then you've kind of kept it off. So
that shirt looks too big on you now.
Yeah. Well, it's all in the name of competition for the most part.
But the good news for Ridgeview is that other than those guys that I just mentioned, you do have a lot of people back, and it starts with Lawrence White, who's your quarterback, although he can do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
That's the thing he's going to do for you, basically, because he gets the ball in his hand the most, right?
Yeah. Well, he's special. There's no question about it, and he's a great kid. I mean, if he's your kid, you're beaming, because he does so many great things on and off the field.
And he's one of those guys who the college programs have taken a keen interest in. He's got several offers, and maybe a guy goes to Iowa State along with Sheldon and Kamari, too.
Yeah. It's up to him. I mean, I told him, you know what, we got a little thing going with Iowa State, but
they're going to hire you before too long up in East. If you can deal with the winters.
I'd probably take it if it was.
But Lawrence, like you mentioned,
you're not done here yet, man.
He's a special guy. He, when he went out of that regional game, he had a concussion in that game, and that changed the fourth quarter of that game dramatically. I think because he was just a guy when you most needed it, seemed to come up with a big play.
Yeah, he's special. I mean, he's obviously, well, every play he gets the ball in his hands, and he's able to do things with it, to get the ball to other people, and it's unfortunate, that just wrong, probably wrong play call at the wrong time, and he tried to get the ball in the end zone and paid the price for it, and everybody did.
And you were mentioning during the break a guy who's going to play a big role for you this year is Jamar Moya, who can do a lot of different things as well.
Yeah, he's special. I mean, he's just like Kamari in so many ways, but a totally different kid. But he's very gifted naturally, and he's a great leader, smart football player, and loves the game.
When you have those guys, and there are others who we'll get to as well, and you had so much success last year, what is the trick to sort of staying on top, to keeping it going?
Well, I think the first thing is just to realize that last year's team was last year's team. I mean, we had a great year last year, and it was a lot of fun. But, really the reality is this year's team really doesn't have anything to do with last year's team. Mm-hmm. And so it's new leaders, it's new role players. I mean, I actually surveyed the guys, and I was just talking about other things. But I just say raise your hand if you were not on our team last year. And honestly, it was probably about 75%, maybe a little more. And so, I mean, last year's team, we're missing a lot of those guys. They're gone. They're at college. They're doing whatever now. But so we've got a lot of holes to fill, a lot of chemistry to build, and a lot of coaching to do. And, we're out there working. I mean, I really don't think I coached that much last year. But this year, I'm definitely sweating when I'm out there.
Wait, are you saying you don't take any credit for last year? Is that what we're hearing?
Hey, you know what? It's just the bottom line is that every year's a new year.
Yeah.
And you have new leaders, new team guys. I mean, there's guys that we're not even talking about right now. I think they're going to play a huge role, but I just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm going to go there though.
Yeah.
Because we know Lawrence and we know Jamar and Darren Blackshear's gone, Sheldon Crony's gone, Jacob Lopez gone. Yeah. Darius Smith's
James.
back though.
Mm-hmm.
And Jalen Prevost is back. Are those the guys who are sort of next in line if they work hard and they do things the right way, can become the stars of this team?
Oh, well, they can be. I mean, there's no question that all of those guys have the potential to be the stars. There's no, I mean, Darius Smith. No, if he breaks through the line, you're not catching him. I mean, he's developed a couple little moves in the offseason and whatnot. But
what's his signature move down the hallway?
Yeah, he flies. He's really fast.
Fastest guy in the central section this year.
You know,
That's
Prevost a great athlete. You know, and I mean, this guy can take a couple steps and dunk the ball, and he's a great receiver. And
what's his nickname? Little T.O.?
Yeah, well, that's who he kind of reminds me of. Little Terrell Owens.
Was that your nickname for him, though?
No, that's his
what
teammate's nickname for him. That's not mine.
I thought T.O. Things move so fast these days. I figured Terrell Owens.
Preview on that actually told me that last year. So
they like it's a team of nicknames. And most of the time, I don't know what they are. So
Amir Knox is another guy at receiver who can step
absolutely. in. Amir's a great athlete. He's fast. I mean, the kid last year from Redlands that went to Oregon, they broke. I can't remember his name right now, but he broke.
Malik Levet.
Yeah, Levet. Thank
nice
you.
pull.
But Amir chased him down, missed a tackle. But I mean, he chased him down like he was standing still. So he's
too bad
a
he
junior
couldn't get him on
back,
that screen pass.
And most of our guys are young. I mean, Lawrence and Smith are older or are seniors, but our skilled guys are still really young.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of them back next year too.
Yeah.
You haven't reminded Amir about that missed tackle before, though.
Oh yeah, we talked about it the other day.
Dennis, you're pretty excited about the defense this year. Obviously, you guys averaged like 41 points a game last year, but that's a different dynamic than you have this year. Talk about the key components. Obviously, we know about Darius in the backfield, but you got Chase Mears there at linebacker. Right. Talk about some of those other guys that are really going to step up for you.
Well, those guys, we talk about, Chase Mears and, Timmy Lalea. Those two guys are critical for us because, we can easily just leave them on the D-line because they were good on defense and, they had success. But, in this year when we don't have any offensive linemen, they're going to have to come over and play some offense. Now, how much, I don't know, but time will tell with all of that. But those guys are key components to our success this year, and their leadership and their unselfishness that, because they love playing defense. They much rather give the offense to somebody else.
Sure.
But in
are
reality,
they comfortable in it though? I mean, if you give them 25 snaps,
they're team guys. That's the whole thing about it. I mean, they're great team guys, and they are the guys that when we need something done, they're first there, they're last to leave, and their leadership is huge, and they don't get enough credit.
As a coach, does a year like last year make you more hungry to have a lot of success, but to be that close to a real big prize?
Well, we always our goal is to be a target. I mean, so we're hoping that it winds up being the same thing. I think we are realistic, and that it might take us a few games to get rolling because we're going to be so young. Next year will be easier, quite honestly, because we're going to have a lot of experience. Probably our entire offensive line will be coming back.
It's cyclical like that, isn't it? Yeah, that's 1 year. That's why it is so hard to repeat success at the high school football level because you very rarely get more than 1 year in a row with all those seniors.
Absolutely.
And you look at you guys last year, your success kind of was because you knew you had a bunch of linemen coming back. And you look at Liberty this year, where they're in the same boat, where they've got 4 of their 5 starting, 5 of their 6 linemen when they look at their tight end also like you do.
Right.
So a lot of it kind of, is predicated on what you can do up front.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, we'd like to make a trade, a couple skilled guys for a couple of their linemen. It'd be a good trade, but I don't think Nixon's going for it.
Yeah, we'll see. He's already left. He's left the building, so that's not going to happen. Let's bring Ridgeview's schedule up real quick. Let's talk about who you guys do have. You talk about possibly a slow start. Well, shoot, the schedule is not going to allow you to breathe a whole lot. You got Frontier just like you had the last couple of years to open up, and Liberty, Bakersfield Christian. Good thing, I guess, those games are at home for as much as that matters. But what do you make of that non-league slate?
I love it. I mean, I think with the kids that we have, I mean, that's the level we can play at. It's tough, though. Frontiers, they're huge. I know Liberty's going to be incredible this year, I believe. Bakersfield Christian, I mean, I don't know what they're going to be doing, but, they look pretty good in the offseason.
As long as our coaches don't suit up at quarterback, you might be all right, yeah.
Stockdale played us really, really tough last year, and I think their young coach staff did a great job there. And obviously there's BHS, powerhouse there. So and then we get in our league, sure. And you know what? Our league can be tough. I mean, any of those schools have been powerhouses, I think, at one time. I mean, it's I mean, it wasn't too many years ago. I was at Foothill, and Golden Valley was, the cream of the crop. You know,
Sure.
so.
Right.
Independence a couple years ago, you guys played one of the greatest playoff games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Sean
Oh, my
McEwen still
gosh.
cringes whenever I talk to him about it, but it's a good memory for you, yeah.
Yeah. Then those kids are, they're just like our kids. I think, they're very similar in the dynamics of the things that they have. So
Sure.
It's so close. I mean, it's like you throw a rock to their school. So that's a great rivalry.
And it's one of those deals too. When you look at that league, where, boy, they've all not just at one time. I mean, pretty recently have been really good schools.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, Tashby, come on, Demon's got probably more trophies than anybody. They do an incredible job up there, and so
Sure.
who knows? I don't know what they got coming back, but they'll be tough. They'll be well coached, so it's fun. And we got to go up there, and with probably the 8-inch grass, and so it'd be a tough game.
we talked about this with Kerry Mills at South, but it wasn't that long ago, 7-8 years ago, Ridgeview was struggling to win anything. I mean, they were 1-9. And you since you've been there, you've built it up very quickly and now to a very high level. What's been the trick? I mean, I know you've gotten some good kids for one thing.
Well, the beautiful thing about coaching is you just never know what your influence is, whether it's been effective or not. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But I think if I believe in something, it's that we have good coaching staff. I mean, our guys, we hang out together. And we just had lunch together. I mean, we talk trash to each other. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's just so I think we're a good example of what we want our kids to be like. And so they see us interact, and the way we interact, we talk trash, we joke around, but in the end of the day, man, we got each other's back. I think that's that's for me, that's a big key.
The kids see that, and I think it's cool because we call you like on a Friday night, you can hear the clinks of plates and glasses in the background. You guys are out eating somewhere,
Sure.
and you're just hanging out, and that's a cool deal. Are you happy with where the program is? I mean, everything seems like you should be, but I know coaches are never totally satisfied. But where is Ridgeview football right now?
Hey, I you know what? Every year, I feel the way I feel about it. With coaching is it's a 1-year contract every year. But at the end of the season, you want to come back. Yeah. So I've been really honestly, it's I sit there and first I think about our guys and our coaches and who I'm coaching with, and it's just, man, what would I be doing? And so I enjoy that. And then the kids, man, as long as they fight for each other and they come out and practice hard, it's going to be fun. Whether we, if we go 0-10, we go 0-10. But if they give everything, then I think it'll be a successful year.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Can we get another hour, Dennis?
Yeah, I don't see Ridgeview kicking Dennis Manning out anytime soon. It's going to be your choice when to leave there, I think. Just like the guy we have next,
never
by the way.
Say never.
Yeah, just like the guy we have next is he's going to pick. The school isn't going to pick. That'd be Paul Gold of Bakersfield High. He's coming up next. You guys are going to meet in October. That game will be on Bakersfield.com live. That was a good one last year. It'll be a good one again. So
no
coming
fighting.
up next. What's that?
No fighting.
On the Super Show, Bakersfield High School coach Paul Gold coming up next. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.